evening. It is 7:23 p.m. and I'm at Bombo Quarry, and today for something completely different I've brought the boss. This is the boss. This is a location I've wanted to come to for a long time, and quite interestingly, I don't know if you can see all the stuff around us right now is some sort of junior worldwide, is it junior state surfing championships. So I wasn't sure whether or not we were going to get up here, but we've actually been allowed to park real close, and we're walking up to Bombo Quarry now for sunset. So we'll see what it's like once we get up there. Just looking at my map, trying to work out which way to go, and we can smell something. I think there's a
We're getting close.
There's a treatment plant just over there. It's a bit smelly, a bit on the nose. That you go around the treatment plant, can definitely see something in the distance there. That definitely looks like some sort of big rock formations out in the distance. So just trying to follow the instructions, and it said you sort of go a hard right through the scrub. This looks like it here. Hard right through the scrub. Definitely it. This is definitely scrubby. I think we go left. Let me have a look at the map. Left at the bottom of the stairs. This way. It's the best way. So this is the first video for 2017. I hope you had a good Christmas and New Year's and all of that crap. We've come down to Kiama for a little weekend away, and I've always wanted to shoot Bombo Quarry, so that's where we are. Already seeing some amazing rock formations. The clouds, there's no cloud in the sky besides over the back there somewhere on the horizon, which means we're not going to get a lot of colour.
Looks like Dum Dum.
Looks like Dum Dum. We'll see what the viewers think. Does that look like Dum Dum? You know that movie? Not at the museum? Easter Island. Me Dum Dum. Me want gum gum. Yeah. Everything I read about this spot said it would be better at sunrise, but I thought it would be a good idea to come at sunset, do a bit of a recce, so I can get up early tomorrow in the dark and get here safely, because trying to get around these sort of places in the dark, I'm sure is not easy. You right back there, boss? The boss is trekking her way through the scrub. Come on, boss, let's go. Yeah, I can see why this is popular with photographers. Hey, look at that water just coming up through there. Sorry, boss, what recommendation have you got?
Not thongs.
Here's the boss's Japanese safety boots, and the boss says,
Wear sneakers or boots.
thanks, boss. So I reckon this would be a really good sunrise location. Pretty special spot. Just check it out. Let me get up here and I'll show you from up here. So many different compositions and things that you could shoot. Wow. Look at that. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? And this is only a small swell. I've heard if it's a really big swell, you know, these waves really crash up on these rocks and they're amazing. Let's look at the formations. I wonder what's through there. Let's go over there. I want to go and have a look at this over here. I think I can see something just over here. Another composition that I think is going to be amazing. I've left the boss behind. She's doing alright. She's a bit slow with the thongs on. Definitely recommend wearing some hiking boots down here. It was funny, when we got out of the car, the boss asked the security guard, should I wear thongs? Will thongs be alright? Or would I get away with, sorry, should I wear my sneakers, or will I get away with thongs? And he said, wear your thongs, you'll be fine. No, definitely not. So I'm thinking, because it's sunset, I'm thinking about trying to get a composition where the sun is hitting the back of these pillars. If I get some water in it as well, it'd be great, but I'm just not sure how I'm going to do it. Pretty amazing place. Pretty amazing. Alright. Wonder how I could go here maybe. Let me see, I'm looking for a composition. Do you do this as a photographer? Just wander around trying to find that composition. It's never easy. I do like that. I'm seeing something I like. If I get back a bit further, maybe that would do. Back a bit further and up a bit. Let me see. This is an awesome spot. Let me show you what I'm thinking of. So I'm thinking of shooting through these two pillars here. Not sure if my lens will be wide enough, if I have to get back even further. What a location. Bombo Quarry, Kiama. There you go, there's a bit of scale for you. There's the boss just working her way across there carefully. some other people over there. Just gives you an idea of the scale of this place. Absolutely amazing. And with the right light, like I definitely haven't got the right light here tonight. Look at these structures, just amazing. And all of this rock, I think, has sort of broken off of these pillars or pylons of rock. What I'm going to set up, I've got an idea. The things typically are wrong when you're in a bit of a precarious situation. And if you have a look up there, my camera and tripod sitting on a big rock, and my remote has decided to die, my wireless one. So I'm going to have to use a wide remote. I'm not entirely stoked with this setup anyway, with this composition, but I'm going to give it a go. Sort of show you what I'm thinking. I was going to do something sort of across these two rocks, but they're just too big. I'd have to get a bit further back, and there's nowhere really for me to get up on to do it. The composition that I've got, I'll sort of show you. In fact, if I show you this little box here on the top, because you're going to ask me what that is, that's what's called an Atomos Ninja, and what it's going to allow me to do is record the live view for you. So I'm just going to hit the record on that, and I'll now cut to a shot of the composition so you can see the composition I've got. And you'll be able to see that I've got f4, so I'm shooting an aperture priority, f4 ISO 64, so always as usual going as low as I can, and shooting that composition. And I think I'm going to have to adjust the exposure compensation, so let me do that. Not using the wrong remote, I'm using the remote in my pocket to try and get it to take a shot, and it's not, and I'm wondering why, and it's because it doesn't work anymore. Rookie mistake. I've got to go to this one here, which is wired. I've got the autofocus on, and I've got my focus point on the edge of one of the pylons. I'm going to turn that off now because it has focused. There we go. And you'll see, if I play that image back, you'll see I've got the flashing highlights on. You see that flashing? That's where it's been overexposed. So I'm going to have to wind the exposure back a bit. And if we have a look at the histogram, you'll see on the right hand side of the histogram, you'll see it all bunched up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down to -1, and I'll have another go at it. Alrighty, so at -1, we've got rid of that flashing highlight. So I might come up to minus, so just 2/3 of a stop, and I think that's pretty good. Yeah. And in fact, what I'm going to try is I'm going to try going f9 now, maybe f11. I want to get a slower shutter speed to blur the water across on the right hand side. I'm at -2/3 of a stop. Alright, so see that was at 1/10 of a second at f11. Still not slow enough for me, I'd like it slower. Alrighty, so I've got an ND 400, so basically an 8-stop filter. I'm just going to put it on the front and just see if I can slow that shutter speed up enough. I really want the water to be smooth and silky behind the rocks. Alright, now by doing that, I'm going to force it to go to 13 seconds. So let's try that. So 13 seconds is really dark. So I'm going to go to full manual, and I'm going to go F11, and I'm going to go for 30 seconds. Or maybe not, we'll go for 20 seconds, we'll see what that does. It's just a matter of playing around. Sometimes we've got an ND filter on there, but all that water off to the right there, I want to make sure that's nice and smoothie and silky smooth, and get all the detail in these rocks nice and sharp. With this lens at f11, it's going to do that. So f11 is a good aperture to get sharp all through the range. Wow, once again, way too dark. So I'm going to go to f9 at 20 seconds and see what happens. I reckon I can go to 30 seconds. And the reason I'm saying that is as the time passes, the sun is dropping quite rapidly and the light is diminishing quickly. So we're sort of chasing that with the shutter speed. So by changing it now to 30 seconds, I should probably get the right exposure. We'll see how we go. And then I'll try another spot because it's not the best composition. But it's a bit of fun being here. Definitely got to see what it looks like before I get down here early in the morning. And we'll have a bit more look around, but I think I already know my sunrise spot. So I'm still just grabbing a series of different shutter speeds. I thought I'd talk you through my composition and what I like about being up here on this rock, and I'll show you. But this, unfortunately, this camera is not as wide as the lens that I've got on my camera here. I've got the 16 to 35 on there at the moment, the Nikon wide angle, and the reason I like using that one is I can get my filters on there. Definitely no highlights in there. Just, it's always good to zoom right into and just have a look and make sure that everything is nice and sharp, and boy oh boy, that is sharp. Definitely nice and sharp. Just have a look through the image best you can, but I can see that that is definitely nice and sharp. Okay, so as I was saying, my composition, so what I was thinking was I really wanted to get this with the sunset light on it, which is happening. We're getting a nice glow on that. It's hard to see, but we'll bring that up in Lightroom when we process the photo. But there's like a line of big boulders up to that, and that's sort of like a leading line. So if you think about this line of boulders here going up to this rock formation, and then just off to the right there, we're getting that in shot as well. And because we're doing a long shutter, all of that's becoming silky smooth, so it just adds a little bit of drama to the shot. The boss is keeping himself busy on the phone. What do you think of this photography location, boss? How many lenses out of 5? It's a 4 out of 5 lens photography spot. That's a new rating system I just created. There's actually a little bit of colour starting to happen in the sky, and it's coming from back there. But it's starting to bounce off the back of these rocks, so whilst it's going to be difficult for us to see here, when I post-process these photos, I think you're going to see some nice colour. So I'm doing 30-second exposures at the moment with that filter on, and which is good because I'm getting some really nice sort of silky smooth water to the right hand side. Yeah, I think I could probably now go to f8, just try and let a little bit more light in. I'm shooting at f9, I'm going to go to f8 and just see, hopefully that won't overexpose anything. I'm going to overexpose one on purpose just to get the rocks in exposure. So if I need to blend them in, I can. I don't think I'll need to with this camera. I've just done one really overexposed so I can sort of see whether or not my image is sharp by zooming in, because it's so hard when it's dark like it is, because I'm trying to expose for the background and the front. I think now it's getting a bit darker, I'll be able to take the filter off, the ND filter, and I'll be able to start to use a longer shutter speed anyway. I'm still shooting a 30-second exposure. You know, it's working pretty good. Besides the fact that it drains the battery immensely, I'm doing 30-second exposures. But I've got spares, which is, you know, the smart thing to do is have plenty of spare batteries. I still haven't moved from this position because I haven't got the light exactly how I want it yet, I don't think. So, you know, I may not move from this position, you know what I'm like. Once I find a spot, I like to stay in it. And I know I'm here for a couple of days, so, you know, like I said, I think this will be a perler of a sunrise spot. And I'm hoping tomorrow morning sunrise will be a perler. Oh, I think that's a good shot. Yeah, we're getting there. The light has really changed now, because sunset was at 8:13 and it's now 8:12, but because of the cloud and the mountains behind me, I think a lot of that sunset is gone. And I'm actually getting a really nice shot at 30 seconds. I just did an f6.3. I'm now going to try f5 and at 30 seconds with the ND filter on and see what happens. I've just changed to bulb setting. I'm going for a 1 minute exposure. I'd rather keep it around f9, which I'm doing, and at f9 30 seconds with this lower light now just wasn't long enough. I'm now going to use my watch. It's the one thing with the Nikon I wish they did that most other camera manufacturers do, is have a timer when you're in the bulb setting, but Nikon doesn't, which is dumb. You can use your iPhone or your watch. So it's 5 seconds to go, and just using my remote here. There it is. Minute up. Definitely nothing overexposed, but maybe not exposed enough. Oh yeah, that'll be okay. Let's try another one at a longer exposure. So this time we'll do one at 1.5 minutes and we'll see what happens. 90-second exposure, or exposure as I just said. Nothing like a good exposure. Photographers like good exposures. The boss is making fun of me. Well, after a lot of mucking around, I'm finding about 2 minutes at f9 is good for this time. I'm getting really nice colour at 2 minutes. I've still got the ND filter on, and I'm at f9, so it sort of gives you an idea. Sometimes you've got to play around a fair bit before you get the shot you want. Well, you never know what's going to happen, and what I'm getting reminded of right now is a saying that I love that Ken Duncan tells everybody, and that is, he says that the reason he gets such a good shot is he waits till after all the other photographers pack up, and then he gets the best light. And even though it hasn't been an epic sunset, the light right now, we're about 20 minutes past sunset, and the light right now has just come to life. You can't see it with the naked eye, but with a 10-second exposure, I'm at f9, 10 seconds, ISO 64, and I'm getting some amazing colour. And the mozzies are starting to come out and eat me, which I hate. But I'm going to stick in here and get a couple more shots because I think we're going to get the best colour right now. Alright, me and the boss are out of here. It doesn't look that dark with this camera because it's really good, but I can tell you it's starting to get dark now, and the mozzies are absolutely eating us alive. And I don't have any Aeroguard with me, so I'm going to go. It's beer o'clock. That'll wrap it up for today, and we'll hit Woolies and get some deet mozzie repellent, so when I come back in the morning I don't get carried away by mosquitoes. Cheers.